I rise in God. I rise in God. Ooh, I rise in God. God is the way to me. All that I am to be is rising every day in God. I sing of God. I sing of God. Ooh, I sing of God, singing His song through me. All that I am is God's melody. I'm singing every day of God. I yield to God. I yield to God. Oh, I yield to God. For God is all I see. All that I am is God rising as me. I'm yielding every day to God. And when I close my eyes to sleep, I fly in God. I float in God. I grow in God. I rise in God. I rise in God. I rise in God. Ooh, I rise in God. God is the way to me. All that I am to be is rising every day in God. 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 Rising every day. Rising every day. Rising every day in God. Rising every day in God. Rising every day in God. Rising every day. Rising every day. Rising every day in God.
Beautiful, just absolutely beautiful. Good morning, all you beautiful souls. It is so good to see you. I'm Stephanie, and it is my great pleasure to welcome you. And for those of you who are joining us live stream, we just would like to affirm that we are all one in spirit. I'm waiting to see if my voice is going to go. We'll see. It's right there. It's never at a convenient moment. So while my voice is trying to figure out what it's going to do, I'm going to invite you to stand and greet your neighbors. Don't just go in for hugs, because they might be fist bump people. They might be namaste people. They might be shake hand people. But if they're huggers, feel free.
I'm not a hugger. Yeah, except for the one spot. We were supposed to come out. Ba, 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 ba.
Come here, let me punch you in the kisser.
Yeah. It's okay. It was fine. I think that was fun. In the big moment.
I have never. Oh, you're that?
No, I'm not. I'm a hugger.
I want a hug from. I want a hug from you.
Oh, you have a nice shirt on. What a color that is.
I didn't get a chance to finish my sentence about you. Stone I am about having you
Sandra, when you're ready, I'll have you take us away in song.
Not to build a fire pit.
And this is a community sing, so everybody feel free to sing along.
And we did this song last week.
Oh, good.
It's the monthly song. So I expect y'all to know it now.
One more week.
All right. Well, okay. It's simple. Sorta, kinda. All right. Today I'm only gonna speak the truth. Today I'm only gonna speak the truth. I'm gonna be like a child in everything I do. Today I'm only gonna speak the truth. Today I'm gonna build my thoughts on faith. Today I'm gonna build my thoughts on faith. I'm gonna trust they'll take me to a higher place. Today I'm gonna build my thoughts on faith. Today I'm gonna see through loving eyes. Today I'm gonna see through loving eyes. 'Cause when you put it out there, love always multiplies. Today I'm gonna see through loving eyes. Today I'm walking hand in hand with God. Today I'm walking hand in hand with God. 'Cause when I see through his vision, nothing here is flawed. Today I'm walking hand in hand with God. Today I'm only gonna act with grace. Today I'm only gonna act with grace. And I want just peace spreads all over this place. Today I'm only gonna act with grace. Today I'm only gonna act with grace. And so it is.
And so it is. Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you. Sandra, thank you so much. Bobby, Chris, thank you guys so much. You inspire us and uplift us and bring us with you. It's wonderful. And while we're thanking people, our media team has been growing. And so I want to throw out some thanks to Byron, who's the head of our media team. We have Christine with us today. We've got Wayne. We've got Wendy. We've had Michael. We're huge. Thank you guys so much, because this doesn't happen without you. Thank you. Our message today is a part 2 on the power of order. It will be presented by our spiritual leader, Jeff Tawney. Give him a warm welcome. We appreciate that he keeps coming back. We love it. And at this time, we will prepare for meditation, and then Jeff will bless us with his message.
Okay. Let's all sit and settle yourself in your chair and feel your back supported, your bottom supported, knowing that what you're sitting on will support you in your entirety. You can rest and relax in that support. We will all take a deep breath in, and on the exhale, let's extreme our exhale. Let's all give a little tone when we exhale, okay? So it's going to be like this. We're going to inhale and exhale. Yes. One more time. Inhale. all do that through the course of a day, don't we? We have something that we feel relief about. We do that naturally. At this time of meditation, I want you to focus on the splendid order in your body, the temple, the bone, muscle, skin, vortexes of nerves and energy, how in perfect order you are created. All organized for physical vitality and strength. As you continue to feel your breath, breathing effortlessly. Your heart beats and you don't even think about it. Together we celebrate the order of the divine, concentrating our attention on our body. Concentrate your attention behind your navel, where all of your organs we activate the center of the body, the center of order, everything working together. We shine the verdant green light of order around our digestive organs and throughout the integrated, linked, and well-ordered systems in our body. See the green light. Order is our name and our nature. We are the power of order by which we connect with our innate sense of direction. We naturally attune the magnificent source, the one mind from which all ideas flow. From that, we catch ideas and inspirations, realizations come to us through that divine order, through that ribbon of information. And at times in our divine order requires adjustment. Easily sensing where to place our attention, adjusting our mindset, correcting our course of action. We are the evolving power of order, awakened to our ever-unfolding consciousness. We incorporate the best part of our past into our present and reach naturally toward a fuller and more enlightened future. By the power of order, I follow the clear path. We choose to go through open doors and release and let go of closed. We choose orderly course of action and thought. Everything is in order. Everything is in its place. And being here today, present in this space, you are a part of order. Everyone take a deep breath in and release. We thank you, Divine, for the power of order. And we say together, and so it is. Well, good morning, everyone. When I read the first part of the meditation, I'm reminded, and it talks about breathing, right? And breathing is just a natural thing. And I chuckle inside because at one point in my life, I had 3 things I wanted to do before I turned 40. One was to jump out of an airplane. Another was to get a tattoo, I know. And the third was to go whitewater rafting. And I did all 3, and all 3 were, the whitewater rafting story will be a story for another day. But the skydiving trip was, I was harnessed to another guy, and it was one of those tandem trips, and you jump out. And during the course of the orientation, the guy says, "Okay, now one of the most important things is don't forget to breathe. You have to remember to breathe." And me being the cut up in the class and going, yeah, right. How can you forget to breathe? It's a normal bodily function. And he looks at me and he goes, okay. So get up in the plane and roll out of the plane, and there's a guy in front of you, with a camera. And for the first 20 seconds of the flight of my drop, you see me doing this. Gasping for air. Because at that point, at that feeling, you lose all sense. So I kept, and the guy that's got me tethered is tapping on the back of my head. Breathe, breathe. Oh my gosh! And I look back on the video; it's hysterical. What we go through, what we do. Okay, so this is the second part of the power of order. And I'm going to take a minute here and review our first week. We talked about we did this. We actually did the song and the Ecclesiastes, where it says, "For everything there is a season, and a time of every matter under heaven: a time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to pluck, and a time to pluck what is planted." And then we looked at a quote that's from Charles Gilmore that says, "Order is the first law of the universe." I'm sorry, it is Charles. My spell check. It is Charles Fillmore. I apologize. That says, "Order is the first law of the universe. Indeed, there could be no universe unless its various parts were kept in perfect harmony." I talked about the order that's actually intrinsic into our very being in the form of DNA, right? We have a DNA, and it consists of 4 parts, and those parts all twist. And when that DNA is healthy and together, we get a result. But then when something goes awry, we start seeing different things in our life or in nature. And then a quote from Richard Garrott says, "Chaos and order are not enemies, they're only opposites. Chaos and order combined equal balance." And then we talked about, I reminded everyone, as a result of the visioning that we did and the order that we did in that visioning, that we actually came up with Unity Sacred Circles, which we'll be doing here in the next couple of weeks, every Sunday, for people to come together and actually have just talk about your problems or share. People are feeling isolated, right? So today we're going to look at 3 elements of order. The first one is organization. Order is a framework or structure, pattern for a sequence of how the heart lives. In Mark, Jesus describes a parable of the growing seed. And he says in that, "This is what the kingdom of God is like. A man scatters seed on the ground night and day, whether he sleeps or gets up. The seed sprouts and grows. though he does not know how. All by itself, the soil produces grain, first the stalk, then the head, then the full kernel in the head. And as soon as the grain is ripe, he puts a sickle to it, because a harvest has come. In that order, nothing has to be done, right? It just happens. It's part of the divine design of things. Charles Fillmore said that even in the small details of life, such as dress, conversation, eating, sleeping, working, system and order enable one to live a richer and fuller life. And what that meant to me was we all develop patterns in our life, and we get into a flow, right? I call it my habit. We have a habit. Each of us have our habit that we develop every day when we get up. And then something comes along and changes that habit and throws everything out of kilter. That something could be loss of a job. It could be the loss in a relationship. It could be changing address or moving to a different location. It can be a lot of things that disrupts that order. And then we have to figure things out. We are all capable of organizing our thoughts, words, and actions in concert with the divine order. For many of us, new spiritual concepts and understandings require us to learn and practice. We have to be intentional in retraining our minds to understand things without the constraints or the lenses from our past. In some cases, it requires us to learn a new phrasing. Like we repeat in the process of our service. We'll talk about the unity statement of peace, right? Unity stands for peace in the presence of conflict. We say those things because we're retraining our mind to believe, to understand something that the world has taught us isn't. The world has taught us that when you're hit, you hit back. That when someone does something to you, you go back. And so we believe that we have to be different. And the ripples effect of what we do has the opportunity, it can change the world. It can change our community. It can change the circle in which we live in. It can change our city. And I truly believe that what we do here happens somewhere else. When my son was like 14, 15 years old, and his mom and I divorced, he lived in a different town about 2 hours away. And so there were times when I could not do things with my son. And it broke my heart because that's not the kind of father I wanted to be. But I had to trust what I said and what I prayed to God is, God, please put a man in Jared's life. Even if it's not me, put a godly man in his life that will come alongside him. And then I did the same thing. We had young men in our church that didn't have dads. And so those boys became part of my group. We'd go on a father-son camping trip. I didn't have my son to go with me, but I took 2 young men that became part of that. Because I felt like that's part of the order, right? If I expect someone to do that for my son, I need to do that for myself. The one thing that order doesn't mean is control. Statistics show that too much structure and not enough play can lead to anxiety, stress, and depression. Order is is in the midst of chaos and systems. My friend Gatti is here. He's a dancer, okay, and so when if he's involved in a new routine, he's got to practice to learn those new steps. And if he has a partner, they practice together those steps so that they can train their mind. Now, when he's practicing, and I haven't seen him, well, I've seen a little bit of video of him practicing, but a lot of times when they're practicing, or any of us, if we're trying something for the first time, we're not smiling about it because it hasn't become a part of us yet, right? We're training ourselves. The smiling comes after we're able to relax and know that this routine that we've put together is now a part of who we are. Last week, Monday, I guess it was Monday. Monday we went. Julie and I went to to hear the symphony in the park at Comstock Park, and the symphony was there playing. And first time I've been to a symphony, and I was mesmerized. We had really good seats right down in front, and our angle was such that I was looking at the strings, and I was mesmerized by the way these people were playing and engaged. These people were not playing instruments. These people were the instruments. Everything about their being. Like, it was amazing to me to watch 12 people in a section, and they're all playing, and they're all moving, and they're all rhythmically, like, engaged in what they were doing, not thinking about it. They were taking the information here, and it was going into this system, and what they were producing was just a beautiful, beautiful music. And it was fun to watch this, watch the violins, and I'd switch to the cello and then the bass, but all of that to me was just, I was mesmerized by the whole thing, because it was just so amazing to see this come together. And I don't believe the conductor said, now when you play this note, you move forward, and then when you play that note, you move back. That wasn't choreographed. That was part of who they have become and how they feel and how they move with the music. It was a beautiful thing to watch. The next thing, as we talk about order, is adjustment. So the first one being organization. The second one is adjustment. Adjustment is a feature of order. Adjustment in the body occurs when the body's effort to regulate optimum conditions for health. So the body adjusts, right? You get cold, the body adjusts to try to keep you warm, burns fat, does those kinds of things. Similarly, the natural world is continually adjusting to the changing conditions and reestablishing order. We see what happens when we see the catastrophic fires, forest fires that happen. And one of the things that I learned one time was that as devastating as these fires are, and you see the trees in these beautiful forests burn down, one of the things that happens as a result of that is the seed pods that are dropped. Those seed pods need, I think it's over 600 degrees for them to actually activate and do their job, to do what they're created to do. So in the course of that fire, which we see as devastation, in the design of the divine, there is an order placed that says, when that happens, we activate this. Now those seeds will stay on the ground and not have any purpose whatsoever until the fire activates it. And now you have a new forest, taking years or whatever to grow. But it's just amazing to me that God, divine, has designed order in the way in catastrophe and devastation. Spiritually, we adjust our power of modifying our thoughts, words, and actions to support the wholeness of our being. We flip a switch, shift our awareness to adapt to a new spiritual understanding or to modify our habits and thought of feeling. Spiritual practices such as meditation, journaling, releasing, and saying affirmations provide a process and order of conditioning and adjusting our new consciousness. So let's take an example. Moving from the order of activity to stillness. Okay? When I go camping, it takes me a day and a half to 2 days to really settle in, to be able to relax. And because my mind is like, I need to do this, I need to set this up, I got to do this, I got to do that. Thankfully, I go to places where there's no cell service, so I don't have access to my phone, right? But the idea is that it takes me a while. I'm pacing around. Do I need to build a fire? Do I need to collect wood? I probably do this. Do I do that? And it takes me time to settle into the fact of I don't need to do anything. I just need to sit here, relax, and enjoy this amazing environment. But consequently, the same thing happens when I come back to light, when I come back to the world, right? Is all of a sudden I'm in this relaxed state, and I don't really care. And people are like, you come back and your phone starts going off with all these people paging you and messaging you, and you got to do this, you got to do that. What time you going to be here? What time? And all that kind of thing. And you're like, whoa, I'm not ready for this yet. I'm still in chill mode, right? I'm still in that process. I haven't adjusted yet from the order of stillness. We have those same adjustments that we have to make in life as it relates to a loss of a job. When I moved up here, I pretty much left everything behind and came up here and started a new job almost 6 years ago. And the only thing, when I moved up here, the only person I had was my son and his family, and he was in intensive care. So there wasn't have that daily interaction. And I'd only been up here like 3 days prior to that, 6 months before, to see the area. But other than that, I didn't have anything else. There was nothing else. And I found Atalanos. Okay, everybody know Atalanos, the little Mexican place that has the burritos? Well, there was an Atalanos in Fresno. So for me, that was like, boom, I got something semblance of home that I know, and food tasted the same there as it did in Fresno. So I was like, okay, I've got a burrito that I love, and and I ate a lot of Atalanos, and I took Jared a lot of Atalanos and when I see them pop up, to me that's just order. That's as it should be because I make good food. But that was an adjustment. When we have a loss in a relationship, we have to make adjustments. And all of a sudden, things that we did naturally before don't come natural. And we have to think about, like, what does this look like? What am I going to do with this time or this person not being there? And for some people, it's a very difficult thing and consequently leads to depression and all the other things that go along with that. But that is part of the order. The bottom line is that when we're in those points of transition, when we're in those states of adjustment, we need to provide ourselves grace. Extra grace required, right? And we need people in our life that will also help us with that. When I was moving from the thinking and believing as an evangelical, one of the things I had to give up, I was gladly to give it up, was I wanted to embrace what it was like to have curiosity and questioning. What does this mean? I'm not going to take things at face value anymore just because you tell me I need to take it at face value. Because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't align. So, pressing into those questions and the ideas, being told not to question, as I found the true answers and understandings, I began to adjust my true beliefs of Jesus and the Christ consciousness. There comes that newfound spiritual intelligence that tells me something doesn't line up. And in that conflict, I must resolve the order of that and move forward. The same thing happened when I started studying the Course in Miracles. The more I saw and the more I understood, the more shifting I did. And when I made those shifts, the things that resonated for me before didn't resonate. I couldn't accept it. I couldn't say, no, that's not truth. I know this to be true. And these other things over here, that's not truth, and you need to let them go. It even affects me when I listen to music. Some of the old Christian music that I used to listen to, I can't listen to anymore. Because it says something that I don't believe. And if I love the song that Sandra picked for us, because today we're like it, we are taking responsibility and like, this is what I'm going to put forth. And I just think that a lot of times we need to check ourselves and see that if the things that if in fact we are evolving and we are changing And the things that we did a year ago may not work for us today. And we need to make an adjustment and find and learn something new. And that's just part of our process of evolving. Another thing that will help us with adjustments is boundaries. Amber McKenzie was here, I don't know, 2 or 3 months ago, and she talked about the power of boundaries, right? That boundaries are a spiritual thing, that having boundaries is a positive thing to have. And we need to have boundaries. And then one last thing as it relates to adjustment is the martial artist and actor Bruce Lee describes it this way. He has a famous quote, "Empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless like water. You put water into a cup, it becomes a cup. You put water into a teapot, it becomes a teapot. You put water into a bottle, it becomes a bottle. Now water can flow and it can crash." And then he ends by saying, "Be water, my friend." Because as water moves, it's making an adjustment. It hits something and it adjusts and moves, but it continues to flow. It continues to do what it does. And then the last concept here is evolution. Charles Fillmore said, "Evolution is a result of the development of ideas in mind. What we are is a result of the evolution of our consciousness, and our consciousness is a result of the seed ideas sown in our mind. Therefore, spiritual evolution is the unfolding of the Spirit of God into expression. It is the development achieved by individuals working under spiritual laws. The evolution from knowing to believing. I can know something to be true, but I'm not going to act on it until I believe it to be true. And when I believe it to be true, you can't take it away from me, right? And the same thing once you recognize that an old pattern or an old belief is no longer true, and once you own that by believing that, you can't go back. My evolution and transition to becoming a minister, going through this process. At one time in my life, my woodworking business was completely satisfying to me. I thoroughly enjoyed the whole process. Things changed a couple of years ago as I realized that in my spiritual journey of transformation, I could help others. I could teach the things that I've learned. So woodworking became not so much anymore. I enjoy it and I'm talented at it, but it's not what I get up for in the mornings. One of the understandings of spiritual intelligence is that once you evolve and see things differently, you cannot go back. You leave the old way of thinking behind because it doesn't serve you anymore. When Jesus said, "The truth will set you free," he was describing the old way of thinking and looking at the divine. You are now seeing from a set of new eyes. And then Paul, the Apostle Paul says in Corinthians, this famous 13th chapter of Corinthians, he says, "For we know in part, and we prophesy in part. But when completeness comes, what is in part disappears. When I was a child, I talked like a child. I thought like a child. I reasoned like a child. But when I became a man, I put the ways of childhood behind me. For now we see only a reflection as in a mirror, that we shall see face to face. Now I know in part that I shall know fully, even as I am fully known. And these things remain," and he talks about faith, hope, and love. I've got a handout here, so you guys don't, I know this is small, but I wanted to go over these real quick. And these are practices that can help you cultivate order. So things that you can do if you feel out of order. And it happens. Full disclosure, about a week or so after I accepted this position, I woke up one morning scared to death. Like, oh no, what am I doing? Okay? And all the time before that, I was in full self-assured, know what I was doing, and woke up and I was like, why is this happening? Why am I second-guessing myself? And it's like you're letting go of one thing to grab another. Like the monkey bars, right? There's that place on the monkey bars where you're settled, but then when you go and let go with one hand to grab the other, that's the point that you're most vulnerable. I'll never forget, Gloria, I was thinking about you the other day. Years ago, I went horseback riding on trail riding with some horses and went up way in the high country. And we were like we're up 9,000 feet in the rugged terrain. And we come to a stream, not a creek, a stream. And the lead guy, his horse goes across, and we go from one place, and we jump across. The horse jumps across, and I'm not kidding you, on a rock that's about that big around. And I'm seeing this. I'm the third guy in line. And I see the lead guy and the horse jumps, and all four come together on that little rock. And the horse does this, and then it goes on. And I'm like, oh, no. And the guy in front of me, I can hear him. And the horse does it, and I'm like, what? I have no time to think. Like, no, time out. No, all I did was I grabbed the horn and put my feet into the stirrups, and I was like, okay, one way or another, we're making this. And the horse jumped, and we pivoted, and I had some choice things to say at that moment in the air because I was scared to death. But I recognized that I had to trust the horse. At that moment, I had nothing else to do but trust the horse. The two horses in front of me did it, so there's no reason for me to think that this horse couldn't do it. But it still scared. If I'd have been the first guy, I probably would have got off. But being that third guy was like, okay, here we go. This is, it's going to hurt. But I couldn't believe it. And then I looked back on that and thought, my goodness, the sure-footedness of that animal, of just being able to land on something so small and to just pivot and then go. It's amazing. So, going back to the how do we cultivate, you can read a meditation. If anybody's interested in this meditation that I've been doing on order, let me know. I can send it to you. It's out of the book Divine Audacity by Linda Martella Whitsett. You can write about order in your journal. You can collect a keepsake from nature, something that reminds you of like the divine order. You can describe how life works for you when you feel organized. You can write about a set of polarities in your life or what you experienced. You can trace your evolution in one area of your life. For example, romantic relationships, parenting, career path, and spirituality. You can recognize where your understandings have expanded and your skills have matured. You can create or select a symbol of order to display where you often see it. You can have all kinds of examples there. And then you can learn a new dance. You learn a new movement. Look at Danish back here. She's like, another dancer, right? These are all things that help us find that, to get that sense. And when those times come, and we feel discombobulated, or we're feeling out of sync, or we're out of sorts, we can go back on that order, right? We can rest back onto what we know as divine order. And you'll know when, divine order, Sarah was sharing with me that we're putting together some things for this. And I thanked her for some documents she put together. And she said, I didn't do anything. They just appeared to me at work. Like everything she put together was like, came in an email. She didn't do anything. It's like you're in the divine order. That's how it was intended. Because you're doing what we're expected to be doing. God provides, Spirit provides, and we just keep moving forward in that. So with all that, that is divine order. I thank you. Remember to stay curious and be the blessing.
think we're supposed to follow that with a song, yes?
Yep.
And this is a good one for
Yep.
that.
Sure is.
I bet a lot of you are familiar with Weave. Have you heard it? Yes. So I invite you to stand if you'd like, and we're going to lead you through it. Weave us together. Weave us together in unity and love. Weave us together. Weave us together, together in love. We are many textures, we are many colors, each one different from the other. But we are entwined with one another in one great tapestry. Weave us together. Weave us together in unity and love. Weave us together. Weave us together, together in love. Second verse. We are different instruments playing our own melodies, each one tuning to a different key. But we are all playing in harmony, in one great symphony. Weave us together. Weave us together in unity and love. Weave us together. Weave us together, together in love. A moment ago, still we did not know our unity, only diversity. Now the Christ in me greets the Christ in thee, in one great family. Weave us together. Weave us together in unity and love. Weave us together. Weave us together, together in love. Yeah.
Appropriate. Wonderful. And Jeff, thank you for that, because I swear you hit on every phase of my life. Like from going from that person to becoming this person, to order in my house, to order in my spirit, to order in my body, just on and on and on. And I do a regular reflection, usually about this time of the year I go back and do a reflection. And it's always very interesting for me to see how, if this house hadn't burned to the ground, this wouldn't have happened, this wouldn't have happened, this wouldn't have happened. So I've tried, I'm not a girl that sees the light, I'm a girl that feels the heat. I need 600 degrees for seeds to sprout. I am that girl. So thank you so much for making me feel much better about that there is divine order to heat. Now, I invite you all to join me in Unity's statement for peace. There are so many things in the world that we need peace for, and we would like to affirm this together. Unity stands for peace in the presence of conflict, for love in the presence of hatred, for forgiveness in the presence of injury. Unity honors the many names for God, the many paths to God, the many ways to worship God, for there is one power and presence of God, and that God loves each one of us equally. It is therefore the position of unity to urge all nations, their leaders, and their people to turn to God by whatever the name for guidance during these challenging times, and to pursue peace, not war, for this is what honors the God of all our faith traditions. Now, we have announcements, and we have several, so pay attention. Don't go to sleep on me now. You'll miss it. And some of these aren't on the website yet. They won't be there till like tomorrow or Tuesday. Remember that we do have a new school. The Spokane Learning Co-op is opening this week, if I remember correctly. And if there's anybody here who wants to know more about that, there are flyers and stuff over here to the left in the back. Nope, wrong way. Let's try that. Oh, so I thought this was for me. She's like, it isn't. It's an adjustment. I'm good. I know one bad joke.
Well, we know we have Jeff's potluck.
We have Jeff's potluck that's coming up next week. We have sign-ups for many things. We are still looking for some minestrone soup makers. If there's any takers out there, we'd appreciate that. And while we're waiting for them to fix my screw-up, I'll go over the announcements that are not slides. First off, Mertz Kijong is going to be moving to after services. So if you have a desire to participate in some Kijong, there will be an opportunity for you from 12:45 to 1 today. And then when Mert's available for that, after services, it is a wonderful flow. It's very gentle and easy, and anyone can do it. And I can do it in this dress and these boots. So if I can do it, y'all can do it. I know, right? That's how wonderful it is. Also, the fair is going on. And for those of you who are seniors and would like to go to the fair for free, you have an opportunity to do this. Tomorrow is your day. Get into the fair free if you're a senior tomorrow. Also, we will be celebrating the Day of the Dead with South Hill on the 27th of October. And on that day, we are invited to bring photos of your loved ones to display. We will not be here that day. We'll be on the South here. Don't come here. You'll be disappointed. It'll be in our news blast soon. It'll be on the calendar soon. Everything about that will be happening. And if you want to know more about the fair and what's happening, there is a sheet with more information on that out on the bulletin board where we welcome when you first walk in. All right. Also, we are doing a Power of Release on the 21st of September. This is to help make room for the new in our building by releasing some of the old. And so we will be clearing out spaces, and there might be an opportunity for you to have something released to you, and there'd be an opportunity for you to help release things from the building to help them go to where their new home is. Also, our birthday Sunday is going to be moving. And so so birthday Sunday is not today. I just want you to know that.
Which means there's no cake.
There's no cake for you. And no cake for you. Now, there is some leftover cake, so if you can get to it before the kids do, good luck with that.
Oh, well, that settles it.
Yeah, that's it. There's no cake for any of you. But there are treats, there are snacks. Now, next week, of course, is Jeff's potluck, so there's no cake there either. But there will be cake the following week. And then after that, we'll have a silent week, and then birthday Sunday's moving to the first of the month. So you have cake to look forward to. Just no cake today. All right, something else that is happening is that we are required to have all of the leaders and in the building be trained in AED training. That's defibrillator training, where they put the things on you and shock you. So if any of you want to know how to shock people, show up on October 6th. You are welcome to learn how to do that. Everyone is invited. It'll be shocking. Ta-da-da. Where are you, Chris? And before I touch anything else, we have Unity Day of Prayer is coming up September 11th. You can, this is in our news blast. It's also on the website, or you can just click that QR code. That'll take you to registration if you want to participate in that. It's a big deal. What else have we got? Is that it? Excellent. Jeff, would you join me?
Well, last week I shared with you about tithing and that I'm not one to focus on numbers, but I am one to release and recognize that things are in divine order. And I wanted to share something with you. So we had our service last Sunday, and then I went home, and I got an email from Unity Region, Unity Northwest Region, came in at 4 o'clock, I think it was, and part of the scroll through it, and part of that was recognition from the Northwest Region that they are going to be tithing us, right? So it was like an affirmation for me that if we focus on doing the right things and we focus on, we don't focus on the wrong things, that part of that order is rewarded, we're in that spirit of abundance, right? And so it was just an amazing thing, and I shared with Julie, and then I sent out an email or text message to some of the board members. It's like, look, it works. It does work. But it's just a reminder that we do what we do for the right reasons, and divine God, Spirit provides for us, and even provides from our own Unity region. So anyways.
And I think it's important to remember that as people in unity, we claim our right to abundance. That's one of our spiritual principles, is we don't live in scarcity. We live in abundance, and we know that Spirit is always going to provide. There's always going to be more than we need. And speaking of Spirit abundance, this is the time where we begin to decide how you would like to consider how you share. Now, we all share in different ways, and sharing your gifts with intention creates an energetic flow through your mind and heart, creating more abundance both for the recipient and the giver. As we pass the offering bags, I invite you to hold your intentions in your mind. Sandra, thank you. That is one of the things that I am in awe of because I can barely play a kazoo. And when I hear stuff like that, I am in such awe of what you can do, all of you. It's just amazing. Thank you, Doug. I invite you all now to join me in blessing these gifts as we affirm together our love offering blessing. Together. Divine love in, through, and as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And now I'd like to also invite you to place any prayer needs that you have in the box. It'll be at the back here. We will take those, and with silent unity, we will pray over those for 30 days. Thank you, Doug. Appreciate you. Let's bring in our kids. Young adults, let's bring in our people, or other people.
You are walking in the light, in the light, in the light. You are walking in the light of God. In the light, 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 in the light of God. Good morning, everyone. So today we made Zen gardens. And we talked about how Zen gardens are for meditation or calming, prayer, reflecting on yourself. So the kids brought them out. Maybe we'll put them over at that table and people can come check them out. Oh, Emily says no touching. Just look with your eyes.
Thank you. Let's bless our kids. Together, God loves you and accepts you just the way you are. And I love you and accept you just the way you are. I behold the Christ you are. Kid, you want to bless us back? Yes. God loves you and accepts you just the way you are. And I love you and accept you just the way you are. I behold the Christ you are. Thank you. How do I get in these classes? I want a Zen garden. Gosh, I'm quitting platforming. I'm going to youth group. That's it. They do the coolest stuff. All right. Well, I invite you all now to gather in a circle for our peace song, in which afterwards Jeff will lead us in the prayer of protection.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Wow. All right. And together, the prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds you. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And that's the truth. It is.
Throw a little love around. happens wherever you go. Throw a little love around. You'll see changes fast and slow. Throw a little love around. Happiness will follow you. You'll see happy folks set free. Love will grow in you and me. Joy, fun, and peace abound. Just throw a little love around. Hey there, you, I'm talking to you. Where do you think you're going? Why, it's love I'm speaking of. And yes, it should be flowing. We've got time to share this rhyme. Start your singing now. You don't know how this should go. Well, let me show you how. Oh, throw a little love around. Watch what happens wherever you go. Throw a little love around. You'll see changes fast and slow. Throw a little love around. Happiness will follow you. You'll see happy folks set free. Love will grow in you and me. Joy, fun, and peace abound. Just throw a little love around. It's up to you and it's up to me to set this love and spirit free. Let's take this opportunity to give it all away. The more you give, the more you got. Give this loving thing a shot. You won't run out, I kid you not. I swear by what I say. Throw a little love around. Watch what happens wherever you go. Throw a little love around. You'll see changes fast and slow. Throw a little love around. Happiness will follow you. You'll see happy folks set free. Love will grow in you and me. Joy, fun, and peace abound. Just throw a little love around. Just throw a little love around. Just throw a little love around. Prum-ching. Oh, remember him?